Hi, in this video I'm going to be talking about my top 5 cycling accessory upgrades. When you're new to cycling, there are so many accessories that you need to buy. You always end up buying the cheapest or best value that you can afford. However, I feel that these are 5 areas where you could spend a little bit more money and really improve your cycling life. Before we get started, if you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe below for more cycling videos and reviews. First up is a quality water bottle. Most people start off with a bottle like this from High Five. This is usually free from your local bike shop, a bike expo, or with some High Five nutrition, and it's a good basic bottle. However, there are a number of reasons to upgrade. So I use these bottles, the Podium bottles by Camelback. I use these for a few reasons. So first of all, they're BPA free, which means no nasty chemicals are going to get into my drink. I also really like the valve design. So it's an automatic valve, which means that you just have to squeeze the bottle and it will release water, which means you don't have to get your teeth around the valve and open it up while you're mid-ride, which is not great for your teeth and always a bit cringy. These also lock off as well, which is really useful. So you can lock the bottle like this, and then no matter what you do, nothing's going to come out of it, which is great if you're traveling to events, so it's not going to spill out all over your boot floor. And you can also clean it really well. So whereas with the High Five bottle, you find that you get loads of grime and muck underneath the valve, and you just can't get it out. With the Camelback Podium bottle, you can, although it is quite difficult, completely remove the valve, clean it thoroughly inside, and then put it back together. So it's really hygienic, which means the bottle's also going to last longer. So a Camelback Podium bottle like this is going to set you back about £10, depending where you buy it from. Maybe a little bit more if you go to your local bike shop, but it's always good to support them, and it's well worth the investment. I've got a few of these now. Yeah, they're really good. They last a long time. I think my oldest one is about 4 years old. It's a bit grimy now, but it's good as a backup bottle. And then I've got these newer style ones, which are a bit nicer looking. But yeah, this one isn't actually that old, but as you can see, it's pretty warm. So yeah, that's my first upgrade. Okay, so my next thing that I'd recommend upgrading to is a good quality track pump. So you might be using a hand pump at the moment, or you might have bought a really low quality track pump, because they are available for about £5 from certain discount retailers like Lidl and Aldi, but they're not the greatest. So if you buy a quality track pump, you're going to get a number of advantages. It's going to be really easy to pump up your tyres quickly and to a high pressure. You're also going to get an accurate pressure gauge, so you can get consistently correct pressures in all your tyres across all your bikes. And if you use a different pump, you know, as long as their pump's also good quality, you're going to be able to know what pressures you use. But the biggest thing for me is actually the valve sealing system. So the Joe Blow here that I've got, it's not the best valve sealing system at first, but once you learn how to use it, it's actually really good. So you get a really good seal when you attach it to your valve, which is important, so you don't lose air while pumping up the tyre. But what's more important is when you remove this, as long as you remove it correctly, you're not going to lose any of the air that's in your tube. I found with the cheaper track pumps, and especially with the hand pumps, even a high quality hand pump, I've got a really nice small hand pump from Lazine, and that's still terrible for doing this, is when you disconnect it, you lose a lot of the air that you've just put into the tyre. But with a good quality track pump, that won't happen. So yeah, number 2, quality track pump. Okay, next up is an essentials case. So for a long time I was using bags like this that you often get free. This one was from British Cycling. You get them free with magazines as well. And the idea is that you put your phone in here, and it is waterproof, so at least it keeps it safe. And then for money and credit cards, I was snapping them into the back of my phone case, which was frustrating because I even dropped my phone on one occasion trying to snap it out of the case, and it's just embarrassing at shops and cafes having to take the phone case off just to get to your money. So last year when I was cycling in Spain, the guy I was cycling with had one of these, and I'd never seen one before, which was a Rafa Essentials case. This is crazy expensive. It's like £25 and there's nothing to it. But I haven't found anything that's quite as good as this. Muc-Off do one, but their latest iteration doesn't look great. The old one actually looks better than the latest one. But basically all this is a little wallet. It's got a nice quality zip on it, and it's waterproof as well, the zip, and the packet itself is waterproof. You've got a couple of compartments and a zip compartment, so you can keep phones separate to keys, you can keep some change in there, some money. I keep GoPro batteries in there. I also put a credit card in there, or if traveling, your hotel key card, which I always get worried about losing that can go in here quite nicely, zip it up, and it just keeps it all together. It's a really nice thing. It's completely overpriced. And yeah, going for Rafa, it's pretty expensive. Some people use like a cheap small pencil case or something, but I just feel like it's the perfect size. It fits an iPhone 11 or iPhone XS or whatever the Samsung equivalent is. It isn't huge, into it pretty much perfectly. If you listen to music while riding, a bit controversial, but the earphones can just pop through the end of the zip here, and that actually works really well. Yeah, it's a really nice thing. I'm really glad I bought it. It is way overpriced for what it is, but that's my number three upgrade that I'd recommend doing because it just makes cycling so much more pleasant, especially when you're stopping at cafes and you've got lots of stuff that you need to carry that's kind of small and fiddly. Okay, so number four is a chain cleaner. So to clean my chain previously, I was using chain cleaning sponges, which are quite good, where they've got a slip cut in them. And I was also removing the chain using toothbrushes, using spirits and degreasers, and all the usual sort of stuff that people use. Then a friend lent me a Park Tool chain cleaner. I liked it so much I bought one. So here it is now. I've just cleaned this, so it's just water on it. Okay, yeah, so, and this really is so much better than cleaning by a sponge or with a toothbrush. I don't think it gets it as clean as soaking it in spirits and cleaning it with a toothbrush, but that's a real faff and it's really messy. Whereas when you're using a chain tool cleaner like this, you're going to use it regularly, so you're going to keep on top of it. Whereas if you've taken the chain off, you're not going to do that often because that's boring. So by having one of these, you can clean your chain pretty much every time you're cleaning your bike and get a good clean on the chain rather than just cleaning the outer of the chain, which you might do if you're just using a sponge. It's really quick to use. Just put some degreaser in. It doesn't use as much degreaser as you think it would. Spin it around a few times, chain's clean, wash it off, let it dry, bit of lube, and you're good to go. So yeah, I really recommend buying one of these. They're about £25. You can get other makes, other cheaper chain cleaners are available. I've had a really cheap one before that was just terrible, and after using that I decided just to take the plunge and go for this and pay a bit more. But I mean, it should last you a long time as well. It's fairly well constructed. I've got the friend who lent me the first one that I used. He's still using that one like years and years after he bought it. I've had this about a year now and it's still perfect and working fine. And finally, the fifth upgrade that I'd really recommend doing is the most expensive, and that's to buy a cycling specific GPS unit. So a lot of people might use their phone to do anything they want to do that's cycling related. For example, you might run Strava on your phone, which isn't too bad now. It doesn't use that much battery. When I first started cycling, I was using an iPhone 5S. I remember that I went on a ride once that was like 3 hours long, got back, and Strava had actually killed my phone's battery. But things have improved a lot since then. You might also be using your phone for GPS navigation. You might have it on the handlebars. That's always a worry because phones are really delicate. You've got this £1,000 piece of equipment on your handlebars. It looks ugly, and if you fall off, you're probably going to smash it up. A cycling GPS unit is pretty rugged and robust. It's going to take a bit of punishment. It can be dropped a few times, and it's made for being out in the elements. It can get a little bit wet. I actually don't know if it's waterproof certified or not, this. I think it is because they've got the waterproof covers on the bottom. So yeah, first of all, it's just good to use instead of your phone. It'll also save your phone's battery as well. So you can use your phone's battery for emergencies or taking cycling selfies or Googling for the nearest cafe or whatever you need to do on your phone. So the other advantage you can get with the cycling computer is you're going to be able to use it for navigation. So you can plan your routes either on an iPad or on your computer, or if you get a more advanced unit than this, you can plan it on the go on the unit. So you can also do training on it. You could set it up to do your intervals. It'll beep when you need to do intervals, and it'll tell you what power you should be maintaining for those intervals. It'll connect to your power meters and sensors that you've got. It'll connect to your Di2 and record that. Record what gear you're in. You can review that later. It'll give you all your head-up display so you can see what speed you're doing. Some of the newer units, like the latest Garmin's, have climb data as well, which is really cool. So it tells you how many climbs are on the ride that you planned, and then it's like you're on climb 1 of 7, 2 of 7, tells you how many meters elevation it's going to be, what the max percentage gradient is going to be, and all them sort of cool facts. So yeah, I'd really recommend getting one. They do way more than that. That's just a few things that come to mind. Obviously, they also track all your rides and upload them to Strava to make sure they don't get lost. You're also going to get good battery life from them as well. So yeah, that's my 5th cycling upgrade, and for me, that's the best one by far. Thanks for watching. They're my top 5 cycling accessory upgrades. Please let me know in the comments below what your best upgrades are, and also please subscribe for more cycling videos.